In the evening of February 19, 1994, an event unfolded in a Riverside, California hospital that remains one of the most bizarre and perplexing medical mysteries ever recorded. Gloria Ramirez, a 31-year-old woman, was rushed to the emergency room of Riverside General Hospital, suffering from advanced cervical cancer. What should have been a standard medical emergency quickly escalated into something far more disturbing, eventually earning her the eerie moniker, the Toxic Lady. Gloria Ramirez arrived at the hospital around 8:15 p.m. in a state of confusion, breathing rapidly and experiencing an accelerated heartbeat. Her condition was critical. Doctors and nurses worked swiftly to stabilize her, administering drugs to sedate her and attempting to defibrillate her heart. But nothing about Gloria's case was ordinary. As the medical team began their treatment, they noticed something unusual. Gloria's skin appeared to be oily, and she had a strange, garlicky odor. A nurse drew blood from her arm to run tests, but the moment the syringe was filled, the real mystery began. The staff immediately noticed a foul, ammonia-like smell emanating from the blood, which also appeared to contain manila-colored particles floating in the vials. Suddenly, the medical staff began collapsing. The first was Susan Kane, the attending nurse, who fainted after smelling Gloria's blood. Shortly after, respiratory therapist Maureen Welch, who was assisting in the treatment, began to feel nauseous and dizzy, eventually passing out as well. A third staff member, Dr. Julie Gorkinski, also lost consciousness and suffered from a range of debilitating symptoms including shaking, shortness of breath, and muscle spasms. In total, 23 out of the 37 emergency room staff members fell ill, and 5 required hospitalization. The emergency room was evacuated, and staff who remained wore hazmat suits to continue treatment. Meanwhile, Gloria's condition deteriorated rapidly. At 8:50 p.m., less than an hour after her arrival, Gloria Ramirez was pronounced dead. But the bizarre series of events surrounding her death was only just beginning. Following the incident, investigators scrambled to find answers. The Riverside Coroner's Office conducted an autopsy on Gloria's body, but nothing immediately conclusive came from it. A second autopsy was ordered, and the body was sealed in an airtight coffin due to concerns about further contamination. Speculation ran wild. Could Gloria have been exposed to toxic chemicals? Did she inhale something dangerous before arriving at the hospital? Or was she carrying a deadly pathogen that could spread through contact? Despite exhaustive efforts by the Department of Health and Human Services and a hazardous materials team, they couldn't pinpoint the exact cause of the mass fainting. Theories began to emerge. One of the most prominent was the mass hysteria theory. Some experts suggested that the staff's reactions were psychosomatic, a result of stress and anxiety rather than an actual toxin. However, this theory didn't sit well with those who experienced severe symptoms, including convulsions and organ damage. Dr. Gorkinski, who spent 2 weeks in the ICU recovering, vehemently denied that her condition was the result of hysteria. In 1994, the Livermore National Laboratory offered a theory that seemed to hold more weight. They suggested that Gloria's death and the subsequent illnesses could have been caused by a rare chemical reaction. They proposed that Gloria had been using dimethyl sulfoxide DMSO, a gel-like substance often used as a home remedy for pain relief. DMSO, though relatively harmless, can build up in the body over time. The theory suggested that when Gloria was administered oxygen in the emergency room, the DMSO in her system may have converted into dimethyl sulfone DMSO2. While DMSO2 itself is not particularly dangerous, the high-energy electric shocks used during defibrillation might have converted the DMSO2 into dimethyl sulfate, a highly toxic chemical that can cause symptoms such as paralysis, convulsions, and damage to the heart, liver, and kidneys similar to those experienced by the medical staff. While this theory provided a plausible explanation for the chain of events, it wasn't definitive. There were still skeptics, and not all aspects of the case lined up perfectly with this hypothesis. But the mystery remained, as no other explanation offered a clearer resolution. To this day, the death of Gloria Ramirez and the bizarre circumstances surrounding her case remain unsolved. The Toxic Lady case has become a staple in medical mysteries, often cited as one of the most perplexing incidents in modern medicine. Gloria's family, however, is not convinced by the theories put forward. They believe there was a cover-up or mishandling in her treatment, and they have continued to seek justice for her, maintaining that her death was far more than a freak medical accident. To them, Gloria was not the toxic lady, but a loving mother of two who met a tragic and untimely end. In the end, Gloria Ramirez's death left more questions than answers, her case a chilling reminder of how little we sometimes understand about the complexities of the human body and the substances that surround us.